Happy Thanksgiving Eve. At least on my monitor, I've just all of a sudden gone kind of fuzzy, but, well, that'll either stay or go, I suppose. I'm not going to worry about it. It's been a busy day. I hope it's been a good day for you. I hope the day has been filled with pleasant memories and great plans and Thanksgiving. I know it's not till tomorrow. I understand that. But it doesn't hurt to start early with your gratitude. Ever. It doesn't hurt. Hi, Heidi. Glad you're here. First one, as you often are. Thank you. I appreciate that. So, what are we doing for Thanksgiving? What's on your agenda? What are you going to be doing tomorrow? Are you flying somewhere? Are you getting together with people you love? What are you doing? What are you doing? Huh? What's on your plans? Happy Thanksgiving, Lainey. Glad you're here. I'm just curious what everybody's plans are for Thanksgiving. What are you going to do? Where are you going to go? Who are you going to be with? Happy Thanksgiving, Heidi. I'm so glad you two are here. That just makes me happy. What are your plans for the big turkey day tomorrow? A friend of mine was saying that she had asked her mother for steak, and her mother was actually okay with it. Her father wanted no part of it. Tradition. And so there was a family row days ago about what Thanksgiving dinner was going to be. And then I kind of paneled my kids, and one of them is doing Hawaiian. They sent out for it. Had it sent in from Hawaii, Hawaiian food. And my son's Texas wife is going to try poi for the first time. I want to report on that. I really, really do. My middle son is joining together with a number of families in a big backyard, and every family is going to sit at its own table. And people are bringing things to share, but they're pre-packaging. They're really making a big deal out of this. And my daughter still wasn't sure, but it wasn't probably going to be turkey. My grandson, had said all he really wanted was to be able to rip a leg off the turkey, and then maybe some pumpkin pie and maybe some mashed potatoes and maybe some. Anyway, it became a whole Thanksgiving dinner. So she said maybe for Christmas he could have his Thanksgiving dinner, which I thought was pretty good.
But then he likes Christmas in July.
He likes Christmas and she likes Christmas year round. Yeah. So Heidi's going to social distance with her friend Paula and Kathy. Cool. And binge watch The Crown. Oh, you're going to love it. It's been a good year for The Crown. Oh. I'm reading Dana's and getting hungry. Oh, I hope John's there. Say hi for me if he is, please, please, please. Please, please. Lainey, I love yours. That's a nice little bow to the turkey without having to go all the way. They're all sold out, huh? I guess a lot of people aren't cooking this year. And Heidi likes the rice Chex Mix. Don't we all? Don't we all? Isn't that the silliest thing? But don't we all like it? It crunches nice. Yeah, it's good. I don't see anybody with green beans. I'm worried. I'm worried about the green bean people. Green beans and Campbell's mushroom soup, wasn't it? Is that, yeah. with some maybe onion things on the top. I used to cook. You'll all remember that from the old days. The first couple of years at Spirit Works, because we did a Thanksgiving Day dinner for anybody that needed it or wanted it or didn't have family to go be with. First several years, I fixed a turkey. I'm not sure I ever stopped fixing a turkey, even up to the last year. That's a lot of turkeys, folks. Yeah, well, some of them were in the oven, and never mind. Um, how are you all? Paula will do green beans. Okay, good. Somebody's gonna fix the green beans. Tell Paula thank you for me. Yet I also like creamed spinach. So what can I tell you about me? I like vegetables with stuff on them. My favorite dinner for years was Marie Callender's vegetable plate with all the cheese on top of it. I like vegetables, but you have to do something with them. I've gotten better. I've gotten better. Now I don't necessarily do all the stuff on top of them, but I still like me my vegetables. So I'm excited about maybe John being with Dana. I just am. John's had a year, and I'm real fond of that boy. So I'm reading Laney's again, and it makes me giggle. Good oven roasted turkey lunch meat with appetizers followed by ribeye steaks. There you go. See, you'd be right there, wouldn't you, with my friend who wanted steak for dinner. And apparently she's going to get it. I asked her in an email last night, steak and what? And she came back with Brussels sprouts, just like that. So it's going to be steak and Brussels sprouts at her house. And no turkey, and her father, I guess, is just going to have to live with this fit. Oh, of course, Heidi, I could always find wine. I still can. It's a gift. It's a gift. They call me the finder in this household. That's kind of loud. It's me talking back, I know, but I can hear myself.
Sorry. Now you can't.
Thank you. Thank you. I was going to pause and find out what I had to say, and that just didn't seem like the right thing to do.
No, I was checking. Never mind.
So, I did a wedding today in Santa Barbara that started an hour and a half late. Well, an hour probably late. But the sun went down and it got cold. So I'm still kind of trying to warm up. Okay. Oh, good, oh, good, oh, good, oh, good, oh, good. Yeah, we are absolutely praying for him and for you, Dana, and we want him well. Well. And Heidi, yes, I can still find wine. Always can. Wait a minute, let me look there.
In the desert.
Even in the oh well, yeah. Sometimes it's not great wine, but it's wine. You know, some people find gold, some people find property. I can find wine. And darn near anything else, actually. I'm a good finder. Hi, Jennifer, glad you're here. We love you too, Dana. Is our guy here too? You have to let me know if Mr. Kirk is with us as well. So tomorrow's the big day. And it always feels to me like Thanksgiving starts the holidays. You know, it's like, okay, once it's Thanksgiving, just take your breath because you're not going to be able to breathe again until New Year's. It can be interesting this year, isn't it? They're doing a virtual Macy's parade, followed by I hope, a not virtual National Dog Show.
Our lights are up. Tell them our lights are up.
Our lights are up. Our lights are up. I'm supposed to tell you our lights are up. You probably heard her. We put them up last weekend and said we weren't going to turn them on until after Thanksgiving, you know, in that old, it's too early for Christmas lights. And then we thought, No, they make us happy. They brighten our minds, and hopefully they will either give the neighbors something to talk about. Why did they put their eyes up so early? Or it'll make them happy to see them. Either way, we're serving the community. So our lights are up, and they're on, and they're pretty. So I come home from this wedding today and say, there's a problem. The lights aren't all on. The ones on the balcony are on, but the rest of them aren't. And Kat just takes a sigh and goes, they're on timers. They'll be on in a minute.
Separate timers.
Separate timers. So thank you, Lainey. Thank you, sweetheart. I love seeing your plans. Jennifer, that's great. Say hi to Sabrina for me. I love that. I love that. We'll FaceTime and watch a movie together and maybe bake together from two different locations. Yes! It's magic, isn't it? It's magic. As much as we can complain about this year and all the stuff going on, and certainly there is a good deal to complain about, there's also a good deal to be grateful for and to marvel at and to be awed by. Don't you think? That we can do this, that even though if we're smart, we're not necessarily together, we can still be together. I mean, no, Zoom is not the same thing as hugging somebody in person. I miss hugging my children. But we talk more than we ever have.
See, God would never have allowed the pandemic if there hadn't been Zoom and Skype. First came Zoom and Skype, then came the pandemic.
What about 1918?
God was on vacation.
Oh.
Short vacation.
Long enough to knock off about 1 million or so people.
Well.
Happy Wednesday, Brenda. Glad you're here. Hammett House.
Zoom and Skype.
Oh, Heidi, I am so glad you have found your way back. Thank you. Thank you. Absolutely, Lainey. Prayers, consider that done. Thank you, Jennifer. Yeah, it's important to me, too. You know, I was thinking on the way home tonight in the traffic, and I thought I was so happy because they had changed the time of the wedding to earlier in the day, and I thought, oh, this is going to be great. I'll be in and out of there by 3 o'clock. I shouldn't hit any traffic. Or if I hit some, I allowed a lot of time. And I got out at 4 o'clock, or after 4 instead of 3 o'clock, and getting out of Santa Barbara was just a nightmare. A nightmare. It was horrible. I had NPR on, and I was happy, and they were saying interesting things, so it just was what it was. It wasn't going to go anywhere. And then it finally lifted some. But I kept telling myself it's better than it would have been anyway. So, relax. But I got home and it was cold, and I was hungry, and then I thought, I get to go do Wednesday night. My friends are all coming over. I love that. So thank you for giving me that. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it, and you. Oh, Jennifer's going to have green beans. Okay, I'm happy. Yay, Brenda! Perfect test. Yes. 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 That's what we want. Don't worry about being late, sweetheart. You're here. That's what matters. So, before I start yakking in that way that I do, I have an assignment for you before the evening's out. Okay? At some point, toward the end, let me know what you're grateful for this Thanksgiving. Because I want you to be thinking about it. What blessings are in your life that even in the middle of a pandemic and an election crisis and all the stuff that's going on, what are you grateful for? What just warms your heart, makes you feel good this Thanksgiving? Ooh, Jennifer's got roasted Brussels sprouts. Mmm, yum. All right, so let me get to my talking, because you know I will. And you be thinking about what you're grateful for. Will you, please? So, it was a tradition I inherited at Spirit Works, and everybody that's here knows where Spirit Works is, so I don't have to explain that part. It was already in place when I arrived, and although we created the Thanksgiving Day dinner, the tradition was to have a Thanksgiving Eve service. It was a tradition I loved from the very first and happily celebrated every year. And part of my tradition within the tradition was to retell some part of the story of the first Thanksgiving and the people who celebrated that. So please bear with me, but it really is quite a story. In 1620, a voyage took place that was more than 3,000 miles. The Pilgrims set sail on September 6th from Plymouth Harbor in England, destined for Virginia. In October, they were beset with violent autumn storms that blew the ship off course. And finally, on November 9th, they sighted land, and on the 11th of November, more than 2 months from the time they set sail, 65 days after their departure, the Mayflower landed at Cape Cod. Boy, how they must have felt. John Bradford of Plymouth Plantation wrote, "Being thus arrived in a good harbor and brought safe to land, they fell upon their knees and blessed the God of heaven who had brought them over the vast and furious ocean and delivered them from all the perils and miseries thereof, again to set their feet on the firm and stable earth," their proper element. Can you imagine? You know, I suspect you can. We've all been there. The really rough flight that finally lands safely. The call that finally comes. The news that you've been praying for. Those thank God, fall on your knees, kiss the ground moments. Moments when we feel the actual presence of something greater, something grander, something larger and more powerful than our singular life. And yet something that has touched our life and changed it. Yeah, we've all been there. Then, in time, we tend to forget. Life goes back to normal until the next crisis. And rest assured, the next crisis likely will come unless we remember to be grateful. Because, well, Well, gratitude changes things. It changes us. It doesn't change God. It doesn't need to. But it changes us. It makes us stop and pay attention. Nancy Napier, in Sacred Practices for Conscious Living, wrote, "Gratitude is a deeply personal shift in awareness that affects the quality of our moment-to-moment lives. It is tonic for our state of mind, for the ongoing experience of the quality of our lives. It is nutritious, psychological, and spiritual food." Don't you love that? The soul filled with light by the touch of love is grateful. The heart moved to tears by a poignant moment is grateful. What we sometimes forget, and I think what Thanksgiving is really all about today, is that the practice of gratitude is not just a polite social practice. It's a spiritual practice, one that turns our conscious mind from the appearances of the moment to a place of realization of the very real presence of God within that for which we are grateful, within our own lives. We are personally touched by the presence of something grateful. All of us, writes the Catholic priest John Auriello, have experienced times in our lives that were so precious and so special that if it were possible, we would have had time stand still so that we might live that moment forever. It's a taste of God. Spiritual food, a taste of God. And there is this about that taste of God. It creates a craving for more, a craving for a spiritual banquet, for a life lived at that level. Gratitude does that. When we live our lives from the perspective of gratitude, we're transformed. It is not just that things change, it is that everything changes and we change. The good moments become golden. The golden moments become glorious. And even the tarnished moments reveal glimmers of giftedness. In his first letter to the Thessalonians, Paul gives 3 pieces of advice. Rejoice always. Pray continually. And give thanks in all circumstances. Really? Really? All circumstances? Yes. Paul said it. And while I don't always agree with Paul, I do in this case, all circumstances. In Spiritual Literacy, Frederick and Mayan Brisant write, gratitude doesn't much like the old cronies of boredom, despair, and taking things for granted. But they are welcome to the party anyway because we are grateful for everything. Grateful for despair? For boredom? Yes. For loss, adversity, challenge, frustration, failure? Yes. They can all be powerful teachers. They can teach us to think in new ways. They can teach us to look for new possibilities. They can teach us to respond in new ways, to stretch, to be bigger, to be more than we've ever been. Looking through the eyes of gratitude, we see more clearly what life really has to offer. Be grateful for the mundane, and the miraculous will follow. Be grateful for the music that lifts your spirit, for the heating system that warms your body, for the chair that holds you, for gravity, for daily light and nightly darkness. Be grateful for every day, not just those that are clearly banner days, but every day, whatever that day may bring. Mary Jean Iron wrote this: "Normal day, let me be aware of the treasure you are. Let me learn from you, love you, bless you before you depart. Let me not pass you by in quest of some rare and perfect tomorrow. Let me hold you while I may, for it may not always be so. One day I shall dig my nails into the earth, or bury my face in the pillow, or stretch myself taut, or raise my hands to the sky and want more than all the world your return. If we live the day in gratitude, if we live each day in gratitude, we shall never regret that day, nor mourn its passing. Every day, every moment holds something for which we may be grateful. It's up to us to find it." Abul Baha of the Baha'i Faith wrote, "To thank God for his bounties consists in possessing a radiant heart and a soul open to the promptings of spirit." A soul open to the promptings of spirit. How does that happen? The psalmist suggests that we make a joyful noise unto the Lord, for we are his people, that we enter into his gates with thanksgiving and into his courts with praise. We enter with thanksgiving. Be thankful. Bless God, for God is good. Rumi, the Sufi seer and poet, writes, "For 60 years I have been forgetful, every minute, but not for a second has this flowing toward me stopped or slowed. I deserve nothing. Today I recognize that I am the guest the mystics talk about, and I play this living music for my host. Everything today is for the host." And we can't leave out Ernest Holmes, can we? We can't leave out Ernest Holmes. Ernest said we should daily train our thought toward gratitude, to recognize the spirit in everything we do, say, or think. The constant realization of the presence of spirit will provide a sense of divine companionship that no other attitude could produce. And because I've really come to love Charles Fillmore and the Unity movement, Charles wrote, I wonder if he'd mind me calling him Charles. Well, it's too late now, isn't it? "It has been found by experience," he wrote, "that a person increases his blessings by being grateful for what he has." Want me to repeat that? It has been found by experience that a person increases his blessings by being grateful for what he has. Gratitude, even on the mental plane, is a great magnet. When gratitude is expressed from the spiritual standpoint, it is powerfully augmented. Like that? I like that. The point is this: lack of gratitude on our part does not make God less. How could it? God doesn't need our gratitude. God, being God, doesn't need anything. But the truest expressions of gratitude make us more. Bring us more. Gratitude, conscious thanksgiving, is the motive power which attracts and magnifies the hidden potentialities in life by bringing us into conscious awareness, conscious contact with the very power of life itself. Gratitude, conscious thanksgiving, not as a casual afterthought, oh yeah, thanks, but as a purposeful statement with an intention behind it. That creates in us a direct connection to the immediate and living presence of the infinite. And that is the foundation upon which we can build our own heaven on earth. There is a story I heard that a newspaper reporter cynically came up to Rudyard Kipling, who, unlike many poets, made a good deal of money out of his poetry during his lifetime. And the reporter said to Kipling, "Mr. Kipling, I just read that somebody calculated that the money you make from your writings amounts to over $100 a word." Mr. Kipling raised his eyebrows and said, "Really? I certainly wasn't aware of that." So the reporter reached into his pocket and pulled out a nice crisp $100 bill and gave it to Kipling and said, "Here's a $100 bill. Now give me one of your $100 words." And Kipling looked at that piece of currency for a moment and then purposely folded it, put it in his pocket, and said, "Thanks." Thanks. A $100 word, even in Kipling's time. Thanks. Conscious thanksgiving. Gratitude for the mundane invites the miraculous. Again, John Bradford. Thus out of small beginnings greater things have been produced by his hand that made all things of nothing, and gives being to all things that are. And as one small candle may light 1,000, so the light here kindled hath shone unto many. If that light, kindled over 350 years ago by a group of weary travelers, has taught us anything, its greatest gift may be to have taught us the enormous value of gratitude and to instigate a tradition of gratitude that lives to this day. Now, there's a lot of talk about the Thanksgiving myth and what was really going on, but I don't want to get into that tonight. I don't know. I wasn't there. What I do know is that the tradition of Thanksgiving has done far more good than harm. And the act of Thanksgiving has changed many a life. The medieval mystic Meister Eckhart probably never celebrated Thanksgiving dinner. But he did suggest that if the only prayer we say in our lifetime is thank you, it is sufficient. sufficient for yesterday, for today, and sufficient for tomorrow, and all that may yet be. What may yet be for a grateful heart. I'm a big E. Cummings fan, have been far back as I can remember. And he wrote, I thank you, God, for most this amazing day, for the leaping greenly spirits of trees and a blue true dream of sky, and for everything which is natural, which is infinite, which is yes. Dag Hammarskjöld, the former leader of the United Nations, had a short prayer. For what has been, thanks. For what shall be, yes. So your bonus for being here tonight is not one, but two $100 words. Thanks and yes. And let's take a moment and take those two words into prayer, shall we? For this day, this time, this space, these willing hearts, yes. Thank you. For the air we breathe, yes. Thank you. For the breath that carries life to our bodies, that renews our cells, for the bodies that carry our spirits in this life. Yes, yes, thank you, thank you. For the spirit that carries light into the world. For the world, this sphere of beauty and color and shape and texture and sight and sound and wonder. Yes, oh yes, thank you. For those we love who love us. For those we love who don't. For those we don't love, but who nonetheless are part of our experience of this thing called life. Yes, thank you. For the fast approaching holidays and the immense joy that we know they will hold because we are in the awareness of the presence in every moment. Yes. Thank you. For the thing that each of us holds in our hearts as being our dearest possession. Yes. Thank you. For this great gift of life and all the unearned, unexpected, and unheralded little gifts that bless our daily experience. Yes. Thank you. For the opportunity to be together, to be present, to be aware, to be here and now, and more blessed than we could possibly know. Yes. Yes, thank you. For this world and our lives and the unfolding good that every day brings. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. And so it is. Yes. all those wonderful minds with so much to say and so much awareness of the power of gratitude. I hope you are. Because I know it changes things, it changes lives, it changes our experience, it changes our heart, it changes our mind. It's a great quote from Gary Oldman. Dana, thank you for posting that. Wonderful. Wonderful. I'm looking at Heidi's. She posted what she's grateful for. That I speak of gratitude every chance I get. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. Yes. Oh, thank you, Brenda. So, how about the rest of you? What are you grateful for? Share it with the world. Let the world know you're grateful for it. I'm grateful for all of you. I'm grateful. I was thinking tonight because I got home and I looked like I'd been out in the wind and the weather and stuff. Um, and I was so grateful that I had to clean up a little bit anyway and put on something a little bit warmer so that I got to be here tonight. I'm grateful for all of you. I'm grateful that you're willing to give up an hour of your life on Wednesdays to be here, to grow in your own awareness and to share this time with me. I am so very grateful. Thank you. Thank you for making my life pretty perfect. Aw, Kirk. Yeah. You two are so good together. You're just so good together. I love it. It makes me happy just to know you two are together. Doesn't it make the rest of you happy? Just, you're good. You're good. Oh, Heidi, thank you, sweetheart. Oh, I have so many happy memories with all of you. With all of you. It's wonderful. And we keep growing that. I love it. It's not happy memories in the past. It's like happy now. And we bring the past with us, and that's good, but we keep creating more. And there's something to be grateful for, isn't it? Isn't it, though? So yeah, keep posting, folks. What else are you grateful for? Thank you, Heidi. Okay, Kag.
Mhm.
Dahanyavad?
Dhanyavad.
Dahanyavad, which means
Thank you
thank you.
in Hindi. He spoke two languages. And his first one, he was born in India. This first one,
So he picked up Hindi.
Dhanyavad. Or Dhanyavad. I'm not sure. But
Yeah, but I wonder where the syllables go on that. We've learned a new word too, haven't we?
See?
There's $100 word. That's probably a $200 word.
Pay up.
uh, yeah, Delaney, yeah. Now there's a good point. I like that. Lainey says, I'm grateful to be grateful. Yes. To Because in order to be grateful, you have to be paying attention. You have to be aware. So to be grateful that you are aware enough to realize that there are things to be grateful for. Yes, there's a yes. I like that. Oh, Jennifer, there you go. You two just being wonderful together again. Food and shelter and toilet paper. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I love that. Wait a minute, this says Seymour. It's good to be with friends, isn't it? Apparently, my kids have licked the whole toilet paper problem. At least my oldest son. He said that they don't always talk to each other when someone's going shopping and check in on what they need. So for a while there, even before the pandemic started, every time they went to the store, somebody would buy one of the big packages of toilet paper. And I guess they are now inundated with it. So I said, it's nice. I will pass it on to my friends. If we ever really all run out at the same time, we'll just have Patrick ship us some from Texas. Why not? Why not? I'm grateful for the additional time I've had to spend talking to my kids. I've talked to them more probably in the last 8 months than I have in the last 8 years. Wait, boy, there they all are. Grandsons. Some of you were there, I think, the year Greg showed up for the Christmas Eve service with two little boys in chairs. Can't remember what they call them. Baby carriers.
Bassinets?
No, 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 no. They were like basket chairs because he could carry one in each hand. And I always love that I still have the picture of the back of him walking away on my dresser because I've always loved the picture. Those boys are now 20 somethings. They turned 21 2 years ago. And they're both, working and involved in life and traveling and doing all kinds of stuff. And that just seems, I have to relate that to the two little kids in the carriers is just, kind of confuses me. I understand on one level perfectly well, but when we're having our family meetings and the boys walk through the room, I was kind of like, oh my God. And, one of them's growing a beard and got a better beard than his dad and a better beard than his uncle, actually. They were all comparing notes. Dana remembers, yeah, car seats. Thank you. Yes, that's in the old-fashioned plasticky kind of car seats, the kind that I'm sure are totally illegal these days. But yeah, yeah, I like that, Heidi. Heidi says, we're working on our spiritual toolbox. We all are, aren't we? To remember who we are and not let the turkeys get us down. Not let the Sturm and Drang make us think that's the way things really are when it's not. And to remember that there's a spiritual truth that abides, that all of this will pass. In time, all of this will pass. And something better, I believe, will come of it if we insist on that. So it's Thanksgiving Eve. Yep, it is. My advice for Thanksgiving, don't let the turkeys get you down. Things are being delivered and set on my desk here.
The dog was sitting on it.
The dog was sitting on the marriage license.
Yes, that's why I brought it out.
I was looking at it downstairs and I guess Tipsy shifted. It's fine. He didn't do anything to harm it. That's a good thing.
Kept it warm.
Kept it warm. It is a warm marriage license, and it's a warm marriage. They're a beautiful couple. It was cold in the park though before I left. Jennifer remembers the twins too. Yay! Oh, yeah. And they're, of course, way taller than Grandma now and cool people. That's always fun. And so many of your kids, I just remember when they were so much younger. Um, and I kind of hold them in my heart in that same place. And I bet you do too. I still call my boys the boys. They're not, and they haven't been for quite a while. But that's part of us growing up and them growing older, isn't it? So, Thanksgiving Eve. Has everybody posted something that they're grateful for? I hope you have. Yeah, I'm just checking. So, how many of you are going to be out amongst some shopping tomorrow, or how many of you are going to be on the computer? It's Black Friday tomorrow, followed by Cyber Monday. Except that I think Black Friday is going to be a Cyber Day. Don't you? Don't you think a lot of people are going to be shopping online? I do. NPR was even talking about it tonight, that they thought that the retailers have not stocked up this year the way they usually do because they're kind of expecting that more people will shop online than will actually come into stores. And at one point today, I was in Paseo Nuevo in Santa Barbara for just a couple of minutes because I planned on more traffic than I had, so I got to Santa Barbara early. And I won't say it was empty, but I sure can't say it was full. And it's usually busy anyway. So I'm grateful for all of you and for this time we have together, for the opportunity to do what I love to do. And I just want to keep doing it. So I invite you back for Sunday, of course, and next Wednesday. Bring friends. Bring friends. Post us online. Hit that little thing that says share down in the right-hand corner and post it on your timeline or post it on somebody else's timeline. Let them figure out where the heck it came from. Let's share what we've got. I mean, we have a wonderful family, and I love it, but can't it be even bigger? And can't it be even bigger? That's not a but, that's an and. Let's invite more people. Let's share the wealth. That even more people will have some spiritual truth to be grateful for in their lives. And trust me, they'll be grateful to you for having done that, don't you think? I know, I've told the story many, many times, but the first time I ever stepped into a church of religious science, it was to finally shut up a friend who kept saying, "You'll love it, come." And I kept saying, "I don't do church." And she kept saying, "You'll love it, come." And so I finally went, and my deal with her was, whether I loved it or not, she wouldn't talk about it anymore after I finally went. And as the district vice president for the United Church of Religious Science, which of course is what it was called in those days, I got to be there at her ordination. I got to be part of her being the minister of the Santa Barbara Church, as it turned out. I never, ever stopped being grateful for her nudging me. Ever. And someone probably invited you. At some point. So, invite a friend. Give them that Christmas present. Lainey wants to know about how about a quick pick of the voice behind the scenes sometimes.
That can happen.
She says it can happen.
Only with flashing antlers.
Oh, let's do that around Christmas. Yeah.
Flashing antlers.
Flashing antlers. She will do it with flashing antlers. We are very grateful for her, aren't we? I am. She sets up the lights and like like a photo bomb. Yeah. We'll see what we can do. She's been working and painting and doing all kinds of stuff today while I was off wedding people, so I don't think she's going to pop onto the screen tonight, but wait till she gets her antlers out.
Yes.
Then you won't be able to get rid of her,
I have to get
which
new
is great.
batteries.
Do we need new batteries for our antlers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Need new batteries.
We'll do that. We'll do that. So, ladies and gents, it's about that time. I'm going to set you free for whatever else the evening has to hold. If you've got a turkey to check or a pie to bake, you've still got a little bit of time left to do that. I'm so very grateful for all of you. So very grateful. And I love you very, very much. So, yes. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving. And don't let the turkeys get you down.